We could all just start out with an epic guitar solo because apparently people want an intro. So
okay, yeah.
it's just kind of like a.
that was a siren.
Oh. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ghoul Crew podcast. My name is Mario Hernandez at Horror Hearn, and I'm joined with my co-host.
Hi, I'm Forrest, and I'm at Esperanza the Cat.
And today we are having our first guest already.
Oh, yeah.
Popularity has boosted through the roof, and they've already been requesting guests. And before I get to the guest, I just wanted to let everybody know, for all the attractive men and women out there who've been commenting on the video wanting Forrest's information and offering him a lifetime of never working again and thinking he's the greatest guy ever, I have deleted all those comments so you'd never see them, Forrest.
Yeah, of
but
course.
I'm just making sure that you're not getting it.
Yeah.
You know?
They would never. No one would ever say that. I've dated people who've been like, you're kind of ugly, right?
Oh, my gosh. But our guest today, Xavier Powers, longtime brother-in.
Longtime listener, first-time
caller.
Xavier is a bandmate / best friend / brother-in of ours.
Yep.
Go ahead and give your...
Give a little spiel.
I'm Xavier at The Unkept Bush on Twitter.
Nice.
That's my favorite name.
I play the guitar.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Tell us more.
Sometimes when I'm alone at my house, I get really lonely and sad.
Oh,
yeah.
So today...
So anyway...
just to get into this, the movie that we chose today, since you guys are all anticipating this...
And I want to point out, we didn't choose this.
Yeah.
I chose this movie.
Yeah. Our guests are going to choose the movie, and then in October, we're going to have a lineup that I'll release soon. But, Xavier, why don't you just kind of...
Why?
What movie?
I'm going to take you guys back to 2015. Something that my girlfriend Josie and I like to do often is go out to the movies, like most normal people. You know, go hear about a movie, go see it. Who knows? But she came to me with this movie, and she said, hey, I heard about this movie on social media. And she doesn't remember this.
Already.
But I remember,
that's a bad thing.
I remember her specifically saying something about the Kardashians relating to this movie. And I was in bad spirits about it. I was like, this is probably going to be bad. But we went and saw it. Probably paid about $12 a fucking person for the movie tickets.
Back in the day when they were 12, back in 2015 when they were only $12.
I don't know. Flix is only like 8.
And I've got it. That's the worst.
Promo, sorry.
It was the worst movie I've ever seen, I think, in theaters.
Really?
And the movie we are talking about today is, altogether, 1, 2, 3, The Gallows.
That was the stupidest thing.
I thought we could really pull something off. I thought you were going to go high and like, 1, 2, 3, The Gallows. Released in 2015 by Blumhouse with a runtime of 1 hour and 20 minutes.
That I will never get back.
It's rated R for really bad. I wrote that's the first note I wrote down in my notes.
See, my very first note was "Nerd got ganked." So,
directed by Travis Clough and written by Chris Loafing.
Chris Loafing, I am a fan of you from this movie. But what's the other name? Clough.
Travis Clough, director.
Travis Clough. Get better actors.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't tell if it was the actors or the writing.
It was the actors.
Really tell. Quick, we're going to start out with the bad gist, the Ghoul Crew gist.
Oh, yeah, the 5-word gist. Yeah.
You just get as minimum words as possible. How would you, if someone would be like, hey, what's The Gallows about? You would say, in as least amount of words as possible. It can be as stupid as you want.
High school students commit a crime and are killed for it.
Okay, Forrest.
All right. Mine's haunted theater kills idiots.
Mine's nerd gets revenge from school play. So basically, we're going to go through this movie, and there's a lot to talk about. I got mixed reactions.
Yeah.
And the last thing we do before we start talking about this movie, Forrest, we'll start with you. Attack or defend?
I'm attacking this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Xavier?
I'm attacking it.
Okay. Me?
Here's the so attack and defend. We have to take one or the other. I don't hate it as much as Xavier does.
I'm going to defend it.
I don't like it as much as you do.
I'm going to defend it. I've seen this movie like 8 times.
Yeah.
And I really like this movie.
Maybe that's why. Is you just watched it so much it's like it's become something that you have to like.
Yeah, in a way. So yeah, we're just going to jump right on into it here. We got our notes ready. We got our fucking beers and tea and Dr. Pepper and McDoubles packed, and let's go take a trip here. Basically, this movie is about an old play
Called the Gallows.
Called the Gallows, and there was a tragic accident that happens.
Yeah, so
And-
1993, there's a school play, and everybody's filming it on their, what I'm assuming are the like 1.5 foot long, like hold on your shoulder VHS
tapes.
cameras
Yeah.
that you had in 93, and somebody's filming it at like a weird angle. They're not center stage. They're like
Yeah,
they're like
from
off
the
to the
lights-
right.
They're like the light booth.
Yeah.
They're not centered at all.
And then like the kid during 1993 gets hung. Like he gets hanged. Excuse me. He gets hanged
Yeah,
on
he's
these
pretty
like
hung.
legit.
He's pretty hung.
He's got
Yeah.
a huge dick. He gets hanged accidentally because there's like real ass gallows on this high school.
yeah,
play.
that is like that's one of my notes I wrote down. Why did this school? At what point were they like, we should make a gallows, and we should also make sure it has the ability to kill high school students?
Yeah, like let's make it so real. Like you couldn't. There's so many things you could do that are theatery that wouldn't involve putting a child's neck into a fucking noose.
Yeah, like you just make the sound of the gallows dropping and the lights cut, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
like
a theater
or
Is that
you
what they
do,
would have done?
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah, you could do a shadow of the gallows and have somebody stand just behind the actual noose, and it looks like they are in the thing,
Yeah.
and then they drop, and the lights would like cut.
Yeah.
But instead, they put a rope around
They
a kid's
put- they
neck
put a legit
and then
fucking
hung.
gallows.
They hanged him.
Oh, it's so stupid.
No one is at fault for this other than the school.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
like,
100%.
yeah.
If they like, I hope they lost their jobs.
like I hope that school gets burnt down. Like so many reasons that will come up, but essentially that's it. Needs
Yeah,
to be
I have a
burnt down.
lot of problem with the administration of this.
But
There's-
anyway,
there's-
they cut forward. So the kid dies, and everybody's like, "Oh no, everything's terrible."
There's like this appropriate
And then-
amount of time when the gallows, like when it
Yeah.
falls and he hangs, and everyone stops and stares.
yeah,
And there's
okay.
like this small brief moment where everyone's like, "Good, no,
Yeah, like so. If we ignore the fact that the administration is terrible and the person who put on this should absolutely be tried for murder, who put this
Or
play on.
manslaughter, at
yeah, at the
least.
very least,
Child endangerment.
That's a big
Something.
one. Yeah, like they should have gone to jail. We don't know they didn't, but they didn't.
They
and,
probably didn't.
yeah, like the kid gets like fake hung, but he's really being hanged and like snaps his neck, and like
Yeah.
everybody kind of stops, and then the camera doesn't pan away right away. It like shows
Yeah.
people fucking sprinting from the audience like right up on stage, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty much how that would go.
I hope he's like some '90s dad that's like, "Oh, that's some really good stuff." That's
Yeah,
like,
I have a question. So, when a person is hanged,
Yes.
what kills them most of the time is breaking their neck from the rope.
it-
Does a high school student's body weight have the ability to break their
So
neck?
this is something that I have in my notes.
And if not,
I-
how did they could have just like stopped the strangulation?
Uh-huh.
You know, they just
yeah,
lifted
I
him
know
up.
I know what you mean.
And even if he broke his neck, that doesn't automatically mean death. I feel like there's
Yeah.
a lot of negligence here by the adults.
100.
They just they let this kid die. He was killed.
Okay, so this is something from last podcast. I listened to it and I say 100% so fucking much, and I'm gonna try to stop. But
So
I
give
just
us- so
did
give
it
us-
like
give us
3 times.
110.
110%. No,
Actually, can I have, like, 70?
Absolutely,
75?
Most of the time, like there's math that goes into it. Like if you're building a gallows for someone, there's
Right.
the amount of math, and it's based on their body weight and how far they have to drop before the actual like speed will
Before
break
the-
their neck.
yeah.
And that's the like quote unquote humane way to do it. Otherwise, they do just suffocate.
Right.
And, like,
so like you could have.
it's very possible that this kid didn't actually break his neck, but like that's the assumption. And I also don't think that the people who made this movie bothered to learn anything about actual hanging. They were just like, let's make a
Yeah.
Pookie Dito movie.
like when the lady says, "They did a great job on the gallows," I stopped and said, "That's the name of the movie."
I actually wrote down also they did a great job on the gallows because I just wanted to point out that they did not.
They did not. So we fast forward a little bit. You see that kind of backstory to it, and then we get to the rehearsal for the new. I'm assuming 2015.
Yeah, I think
in
it's
the present.
I think it is,
1993 and it goes to 2013.
They
I
said-
think
yeah,
that's
they
the
said
like
20
IMDb.
they said
things.
20 years.
Yeah.
So we're at the present 2013 rehearsal for it. We're introduced to our characters, which are, in my opinion, off the bat, is Reese and Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan is the camera guy, and Reese is the
like
football star, but also the drama kid. So
the thing that never happened.
Zac Efron from High School Musical. He's Zac Efron,
and he's the same amount of idiot as Zac Efron from High School Musical.
Yeah, this movie is High School Musical, but instead of singing and dancing, there's a ghost. Seriously, if you
it's not nearly as much fun.
Like Reese's dad doesn't want him to do the play, but Reese wants to do the play, and he gets mad and leaves the house. Dude, it's totally High School Musical.
Yeah, it's like,
but
no, you need to play football. You need to see things through. And it's like, no, Dad, I want to be on theater.
Also, I'm saying all of this. I've never seen High School Musical.
I used to watch it with my students because it's a really good thing to watch with ELL students because there's a lot of singing and dancing and like bright colors, and so they're like, yay, I'm engaged and also learning.
Right. You should show them the Gallows.
Yeah, you should show them.
Show them the Gallows. Bright
there's
colors,
a lot of,
bright red lights.
There's a lot of flashing.
A lot of really accurate slang that they use.
It really isn't.
What a joke.
Yeah. Jargon. One of the guys says, "Is that your theater jargon?" And it's like, I will pay you money. I will pay you money if you can authentically, in a natural situation, find a 17-year-old who uses the word fucking jargon.
Like, often enough for it to be in a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we basically just see Reese kind of choke. You're introduced to him as this guy who's not really comfortable with the whole thing.
Yeah, he's very new to theater.
And Ryan's very oh man, you're freaking biffing it, dude. You're freaking you're bailing.
You're a piece of garbage. And Ryan is the worst because like they show the football warm-ups after Reese like kind of fails at the dress rehearsal. He's like, whatever, okay, I got to leave for football practice. And so him and Ryan go out, and Ryan's just filming everything for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And I'm choosing to ignore that because in Host I kind of ignored it. So I'm trying to be even.
It is a found footage movie. So if you just stopped filming, there wouldn't really be a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I do want to just say, while we're on the topic of, we kind of passed it, but Reese being a bad actor.
Yeah.
I was going to say the bad acting in the movie feels very natural to them. I think maybe they're just bad actors.
No, yeah.
Oh, like doing the the play. Watching the play happen.
Or just the
actors acting in the play.
Yeah, I don't think that they're acting as bad actors.
No, they're like trying. Yeah.
They just stopped trying to be good actors.
Yeah. This is where my notes start. And they start with Ryan being a prick. And he takes a football because the backstage kids, they're like moving a bunch of shit from their like cars or whatever.
Stage boy throughout most of the movie.
Yeah. It's just a nerd, right? Mm. It's just a nerd
He's
who
a
like
dork.
really enjoys being in theater, and I associate with this kid quite a bit. He's like clearly just enjoying theater, and he's moving a bunch of props and shit through the back door, and Ryan goes, "Let me get him," and he fucking throws this football, and the football kind of like disappears for a minute, and then like boom, like takes out this kid in the fucking head, like, and he just like eats it, bites it right on the dust, and that's where I wrote "Nerd got ganked."
I feel like they should have made the theater kids a little bit more weird.
I don't know how much weirder that could have got.
Yeah, like that nerd was pretty good.
There just wasn't enough setup to it. You know? It's like you occasionally see them like they're playing patty cake at one point.
It's not patty cake. This pissed me off. He calls it patty cake.
Well, Ryan
what he was doing
know.
wasn't patty cake.
Whether or not it's patty cake, I think we can all agree that he's a fucking dork.
Yeah, he's absolutely a fucking nerd.
He's like he's slapping another man's hand.
Yeah. What is he, gay?
Ryan is definitely very homophobic throughout the entire movie.
It's really bad.
Yeah, he's toxic masculinity.
Oh, and I'm so glad. Okay, no, we'll get there.
So they go from that rehearsal, and then they go into the football practice. They go immediately right into it. They go from the theater area to football practice, and he takes the camera with him into the locker room.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
he smacks a dude's ass, like,
and then he says, "Get away
much.
from me!"
Yeah, like I'm not gay, but I am.
There's like this. I wrote football bros because they're very bros.
Yeah,
they're very bro. This movie's very like pro bro.
Maybe it was just the high school we went to, but like. At least for me, that wasn't really
at all.
normal.
It was also our football team sucked, and it sucked to the point that like it was a meme, and so like we'd go support them because we were like, yeah, we lost,
right?
But they were so bad that they couldn't be jockish, and so like
these
if they
were
like
jocks,
they were like
these
guys
through the
were
hallway,
like,
D-Dog, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Like
It's like how Mario
totally.
is naturally. Like that's how these guys are. Yeah.
Cactus Jack sent me. So we go to football practice, and you get introduced to Ryan's girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Well, first he kind of harasses the cheerleading coach.
Yeah.
And goes, you still got a husband? And I mean, I guess she's into it because she blows him a kiss, and then you get introduced to Cassidy.
Yeah, I was going. Actually, I didn't write it down, but I wanted to comment on the fact that teacher is like actively flirting with a high school
student, which is very real. That's like that's a thing. It's gross and it's horrible, but it happens. Our English teacher at our high school, one of our English teachers, was caught having sex with
when she moved to Ankeny.
Yeah, with a high school wrestling kid in a library parking lot.
Which brings me to our next guest. Welcome in, Mrs. Gerson. I know.
It wasn't Gerson. It was some other name. Miss Gerson was lovely. It was not her. I feel really bad because I was like, I'm pretty sure it's her. Nope.
We'll
as
bleep
soon
that
as I
out.
said it.
Yeah. So
we don't edit.
There's this scene that I really, really like, and it's when it's after practice because after practice there's like another rehearsal. After practice there's this like kind of like prep rehearsal because the show is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
it's like it's hyping up. That's a theater thing.
They're really getting it. Like they have a lot of time to be doing this.
Oh
kind of
man,
stuff.
I wrote down theater kids, ew, and then right under it, high school kids, ew, because like right in a row, two things happen that are very like, oh god, I'm glad I'm not in high school.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention the fact that they did a good job with the set for the high school.
Oh my god,
I don't know if they filmed it in a real high school or what, but it was like spot on.
So the one thing I have a problem with is no high school's theater is that like tall, like that big.
Yeah,
like
I was
the
gonna count
rafters.
the
The rafters in that were huge. Like that stage was phenomenal. It was gorgeous.
Well, maybe like a high school somewhere rich, but this is taking place in Nebraska.
Yeah, it's like
which.
They're not.
I don't know.
Rich.
Some no-name town in Nebraska too. Like,
yeah.
But like the theater's really nice. Yeah. It's too nice for a high school.
There's a scene where Ryan, I don't remember who was doing it, but they're like he's talking shit to some kid. I don't know if it's the theater kid or not.
Yeah.
But then Ryan looks at the. Oh no! It's during the prep rehearsal where he's in the clothing room.
Yeah.
And he's talking to those two guys, and they're like talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, well, your mom."
Oh my god!
Like he was just like, yeah, man, you got fucking being on the football team, and you're a fucking like studio nerd, like you big loser. And he goes, yeah, well, your mom. And I was like, yes, that's exactly. You just freaking got him. End the movie right now. So yeah, you get introduced to Cassidy, who's this kind of very preppy girl, who's Ryan's girlfriend.
She's not the worst. She's not as annoying as I thought she was going to be.
Yeah,
like. She's a high schooler. Like she's a high school.
Yeah.
Like clearly she's upper echelon of popularity. Mm-hmm. Like, but she doesn't seem that bad. She's not nearly as bad as Ryan.
Is she in this play? Because she
no, she's just around.
Yeah, okay. she's hanging out because she's dating Reese or Ryan.
And there's a scene where they're on the bleachers post practice, and Ryan's holding her. And they have the camera. He has the camera facing them, and he's just sitting there, just like he's
dry
just
humping her.
just like, and he's
and
just.
She's like on her phone. She's going, "What are you
doing, Ryan?"
Stop.
That note I have is bang my girlfriend, because that's exactly like he's the kind of guy who'd be like, "Yeah, I bang my girlfriend."
Yeah, he's a sex haver for sure.
Yeah. He also seems like the kind of guy that would cry afterwards because he knows he's gay, but he's like, I need to have sex with women.
Yeah, or
and
he just
like
wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, like
something's wrong here. It feels like something's missing,
and it's going to be your fault because you're the woman.
So we're at the post, like after practice, and we're at the pre-rehearsal thing because the show is tomorrow, and that's when we really get introduced to Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Pfeiffer is so cute.
B-list Kristen Dunst.
Yeah,
that's what I wrote down.
She's really sweet. She's kind. She's a theater kid, which is annoying, but like she's not the worst.
Yeah. My note was, do I like Pfeiffer? Because at the beginning, because she's like, I have a couple things to say, and then she gets up there and she's like,
that's where I wrote you, theater kid.
She's like, hey guys, just wanted to say thank you for everything you guys are doing, and I'm really happy about how we're all doing on this set and everything, and I really appreciate everybody. Thanks.
Yeah,
and like I was like, okay.
C'est fini, which means it's done.
But it hadn't
it's finished.
started.
Yeah, exactly.
But it hadn't started yet. But in reality, it's already finished.
Yeah, like Okay.
I think they did a pretty good job. With
not
Pfeiffer.
knowing French is a very theater kid thing. So yeah.
Biscuit cookie.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
Are you
That's
kidding
what I'm
me?
talking about.
You in the moon, eat your
croissant.
eye like a... That's wrong. So, and then you also see that Reese is very shooken up about how bad he's going to do in this.
He was what?
He's very shooken up. Shaken
Shaken?
up. Shake him up, shake him up, shake him. I don't know. Forrest...
Yeah, he was sitting.
He
in
was
the hallway.
yes, he's
Yeah.
sitting in the
Was
hallway.
that
He knows he
before or
can't.
after the theater kids prank?
Before.
Yeah, that was before. It was just because he was trying to learn his lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was really frustrated that he couldn't get his lines.
And then you really get introduced that Reese has these feelings that he wants to do good for both Pfeiffer and not looking like an idiot.
Yeah,
And so you really
yeah.
start to be like, oh shit, Reese is not this fucking gym bro, football bro. Like,
Yeah,
he
he's
wants to just do
multidimensional.
good. Like he
He's
wants
Zac
to do
Efron.
good.
He's
He's Zac
from high
Efron.
school.
Yeah,
Musical.
I'm saying it, dude. That's
Yeah.
what this movie is, and I've never even seen it, and I know that.
Yeah,
And then
you're pretty right.
I wasn't a Disney kid, so
I wasn't either.
Wally.
I was just gay.
So
okay.
that's when Reese admits that he likes Pfeiffer, and Ryan chases Pfeiffer, basically. And
Yeah.
Ryan's a fucking douchebag, man.
Oh, dude, I have Ryan as a
Pfeiffer!
Yeah.
Bro,
No,
Reese
I got this, bro.
likes
I got
you.
this, bro. Like, no, I got you.
Don't worry about it, bro. I
totally
tell her that you like her.
I have the note. Ryan is a cunt. And I don't necessarily like that word, but 100%.
See, this makes me think.
Damn it!
This
but he
makes
is.
me think now. This is
He's a
this
piece
is,
of shit.
This is the question to you: do you
Okay.
hate Gemma more, or do you hate Ryan more?
Oh no, you've put me on the spot.
For any of our old-time listeners,
Ryan, 100%. I did it again.
100%, 95%.
30%. I prefer Gemma because Gemma went out and did a good thing at the
Okay.
very end of Host,
Yeah.
even though she was a bitch all the way through.
Yeah.
Ryan does nothing good. There's nothing redeemable about him. I audibly laughed when he got hurt.
Yeah,
like
I
you were
remember
you
that.
were here.
Yeah.
I was in the living room cackling like a wolf. It was bad.
Yeah, I wrote
hyena,
down,
hyena. The thing's hyena.
Epic
Shit.
prank.
Epic
When
prank.
he
Yeah,
got-
so-
Oh yeah.
he got
He
hurt.
gets I get trolled, Ryan.
Yeah.
So basically, the theater nerd that Ryan is working with.
Yeah,
and
that, like,
actively bullying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just outright bullying.
He asked him to, and I don't know what exactly. I don't know, Forrest, if you know, because you're in the theater. I don't know what these lines are. These stage lines. I don't know. Are they curtain
it
things?
really depends. Some of them are curtains. Some of them are for props. It depends.
It's a rope.
It's a rope. Yeah,
A rope in a movie about getting hanged.
Symbolism.
And so he's like, hey, he's like, hey, Ryan, do you think you can use your big manly skills to pull this rope down to help fix this thing? And he goes,
Yeah.
move along, squirt.
Yeah.
And
Get out of my way, Pipsqueak.
get out of my way, pipsqueak. And then like Brian goes up there and climbs up and tries
Yeah.
to pull this rope down, and then they flip some kind of switch, and he
It
falls.
fall-
And he
yeah.
eats shit.
Yeah,
really bad.
It's a trapdoor. They
Is-
like trapdoor.
yeah,
him.
yeah. And then Ryan chases him down, and he's like, "You're fucking lucky."
Yeah, no,
fucking lucky
no,
I-
because he's like the nerd's like, no, but we're even now, and he's like, you don't know, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you've clearly never been bullied, which is a lie because you're you and you've been bullied before.
Yeah.
You know that you can't get back at bullies. That's not how they work. Then the teacher comes out and is like, "Hey, Ryan, knock it off. Like, let's get back to
That
doing
teacher,
what we're
by the
doing."
way,
Oh,
exactly
dude.
how I would picture.
Yeah, that is
a
a-
movie theater grade teacher.
That is a theater
Yeah.
teacher who is in like a high school theater teacher.
yeah.
in
what
every
was his
way.
name? Schwinn.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It literally it could be Dingus Dorngus, like
Yeah, I think it was like
you'd look at him,
Schwenden.
Yeah.
Schwenden. Yeah.
which is
Schwenden.
suspiciously close to one of our best teachers in high school.
And then this is when Ryan discovers the door.
Oh man,
Oh,
I have
yeah.
some fucking problems with the door.
Ryan.
All right,
discovers the
so
door.
here's
This
a
is-
high school, right?
Yeah,
and
this
there's
is
a
on
door that just never locks, and it's not like Ryan just discovers this door.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about the door.
Yeah.
Well, I
They're
mean,
like, "Hey, does this door lock?" And the other students, just random people,
Yeah,
no
they're
name
like-
actors,
She says-
are like,
she says-
"No,
he says,
they don't."
Hey, Brooke, and she goes, "My name's Kimberly."
And she's like, "Yeah, whatever. This door doesn't lock." She's like, "No, everyone knows that. Walks away."
Yeah, she's
Why
like-
has the door never been fixed?
It's one of
Oh,
those
okay.
things.
So, public high school. We all went to a public high school. I
Yeah.
could have broken into our public high school at any point, and it's because of the theater department. Like they just don't lock shit. Like,
yeah, but that's a door
so
that does not
easily.
have the ability to lock.
There's also
Yeah.
like 800 doors in the school. There's like,
And no windows.
yeah, there's,
Yeah.
And the
It's a
windows that they
prison.
do have are like they're either 7 feet up or they
Yeah.
have bars on them.
It's a prison.
Why? That's a fire
Plot.
hazard. I mean, I guess
yeah.
it feels like maybe if throughout a movie you have to just keep telling yourself like, oh, they're just doing that for the plot. Maybe they didn't pay enough attention to
Yeah.
like the details because if I'm not enjoying the movie because I'm spending my whole time questioning like
Little
what kind of fucking
inaccuracies.
high school is this like, then that's not my fault as the watcher. It's
Yeah.
One
somebody
thing-
else's fault.
I agree.
It
with
could
you.
not possibly be my fault. Nothing is my fault.
One big thing that we missed.
And that's Xavier, everyone.
one thing that we did miss is
Oh, sorry.
Ryan is filming the crowd, and there's the theater moms,
Oh,
there's the
yeah.
theater dads,
Oh,
and there's
yeah.
this woman, and he goes to talk to her, and well, he goes to talk to the moms, and they're like,
Yeah, they talk to everybody,
creepy things do happen around here. Lights have been shutting off,
Yeah,
this
just
and that, and then talks to this woman, and she's like, I was there at the original play, I was devastated, but here I am supporting this one.
Who would let her
Yeah.
into the high school?
I mean, if she's at
Nobody knows who she is. Obviously, nobody knows that who she really is. We
My
find
thought
out
is,
who she is.
this is
later.
Nebraska in 2013, so I don't think there's like crazy amounts of security.
but
like,
probably still enough.
still
that, like,
enough to.
to stop some random middle-aged woman who looks like she's a drug addict from walking into the school
does
and
look a
just
little messy.
sitting. Yeah, like
you can't see it. He's trying to formulate. You can
It's-
see
okay,
the
this
cogs
is-
of his mind working.
this
It's
is
really
small
funny.
town Nebraska. Everybody knows everybody, right?
Yeah,
So
supposedly.
like, yeah, like
Yeah,
most
I mean,
of the time,
assuming,
at
yeah,
least,
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Especially if they went to high school together, and she
Oh yeah,
did
if
because
she's
she
from
was,
this
like,
high school
yeah,
and stayed in
everyone
town,
would
she'd know people.
who she
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Which we'll come back to later.
So then Reese is still in his feelings, talking about Pfeiffer and everything, and Ryan finds this door, and he immediately runs over to Reese and goes, "Dude, do you still want to do this play or what?" And Ryan's like, and he's like, "Come on, dude." And you know what? He is a very good peer pressure because the way he describes, like,
He's a bully.
he is a bully. He's very good at this because he's like, because Ryan doesn't want to, or Reese doesn't want to destroy the set, but he says, you either bomb and Pfeiffer hates you at the play, or there's no play and you can be Pfeiffer's shoulder to lean on, which makes sense.
I mean, it's a good manipulation. Yes,
And
It
so,
is, and also Reese is kind of a pussy. Because, like, I feel
mean,
like
that goes without
we've
saying.
all been in situations where somebody's tried to peer pressure us into doing something that we don't want to do.
yeah.
welcome to the podcast.
And, like, you can
stick
just
your
say,
finger in this mousetrap now.
you can just say no, like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Well, it is more difficult in high school to do that, but I'm not gonna lie. In high school, I was 100%, damn it, still able to say no. I don't want to do
same
that.
here. Like,
Like,
I had people be like, "You're gonna do
Yeah.
this, or I'm not gonna be your friend anymore."
Oh,
and,
easy.
and
I
I
would
know
just-
you
and-
would have been like,
No, and I did.
Cool.
I was just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna call my dad, and he's gonna pick me up from the south side. See
Yeah.
you later.
that was a very specific instance.
It was a real thing that happened. He
Yeah.
wanted to break into an abandoned house, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't like.
That's pretty
I don't
similar
wanna,
to what's
yeah.
going on with
I was
this.
like, I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Except
well,
were-
you're gonna do it, or you're not my friend anymore. And I said, okay, we're
Were
not
you
friends
trying to
anymore.
impress a girl?
No.
Okay, see that's
Safety
where
first.
Reese,
Safety first,
Reese,
everybody.
like the power of boners, man. Like Reese was trying to impress this girl, so he's gonna go in for it.
So we got the plan to wreck the set. It's all there. They're just gonna break it and shit. And then Cassidy is like, "What are you guys talking about?" Like, I want in on this.
I'm nosy,
Yeah. And so then it
which
kinda,
is like her only character flaw because she's really sweet. Like she's fine the rest
Yeah,
of the time.
she's fine.
Yeah, her screaming is annoying, but that's a horror
Yeah.
movie thing.
Okay, not fine though, because she is also like really hyping up this idea of ruining the set. She's like, yeah, let's break in and let's ruin the set.
She's an angry, horny teenager. That's what happens. Like
I
they
don't
all
think that
are.
excuses it.
she's
I think that she's equally as she
You've never
is
been a high school teacher.
she is the Himmler to Ryan's Hitler. Hitler obviously way worse, but Himmler is still like very bad, you know.
very bad.
That's such a terrible comparison. Oh my god!
But it works.
So
I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other bad guys who
Bad,
have like a
couples.
right hand henchman.
Yeah. Bittaker and Norris,
Yeah, that one just went right over my head.
they're serial killers.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
nope.
So they make the plan to wreck the set, and then it kind of cuts out, and they go into what would be nighttime now for like pre-break-in. And there's this scene where Ryan like puts on a hoodie and like jump scares the camera.
Oh, dude,
and
I
he's
hated
like,
that.
he's
I
like,
have a note,
he's
and
like,
it's
"Arr." And then like his mom walks in, and he's not wearing any pants,
Oh
and he
my God.
stands up and goes, "Mom, I just need 5 minutes." And I was like, and I put it on my notes. I said, I don't even remember what I put on it.
The note that I had was, this is taking too long. This shot is unnecessary, because you can do that kind of jump scare,
Yeah.
which, by the way, I hate every jump scare in this fucking movie. It's terrible. It's loud. It's the only music in the entire movie, and I fucking hate it.
And
But,
none of them were really very good. Either.
there was one that I think was good, but we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, they're so shit, and this one's included because it's stagnant for I counted it, and it was 47 seconds of just staring at this dude's mirror and nothing happening. And then suddenly he comes up in the fucking like singed hoodie that makes him look like a butthole, and he's just like, meh.
Yeah.
And then his mom's like, honey, do you need anything? He's like, get out, mom.
I just
He's
need
got,
5 minutes. And
just need 5 minutes.
I wish they would have spent more time, or any time really, explaining why Ryan was filming.
Yeah, that would have given
That would have given.
it could have even been subtle.
He could have just been
like film
like I'm
project or
filming a
something.
YouTube video.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
whatever.
he says when he was in the booth with the theater
Yeah.
geeks, he's like, well, they wanted to use their camera, but I'm just going to use mine. And for
Yeah.
what exactly,
Well,
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
that's just it. It's like you wouldn't keep filming outside
Yeah,
of that because
yeah.
you're an angry, horny teenager. You don't want to do anything that
Yeah.
you don't have to do. So it's like,
Unless it was something that he wanted to be doing. I just wish
Yeah.
they would have told me why he was doing it. Because it's like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had to have the film going the entire time for the movie or
right.
whatever.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a movie. Exactly.
But
you still need
you
to explain
still
it.
like want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
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 So they break into the school. They pick up Ryan. They pick up Reese at his
yeah.
place, and his dad.
And
is,
that's the High School Musical moment of like,
Yeah.
Ryan is an asshole, by the way. He just comes into the house and is like, "What's up, Reese?"
He's like, Papa Reese.
Yeah, and
His
he's
dad
clearly being scolded.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's like
'cause he
getting
quit
yelled
the-
at.
he
he quit the football team. Yeah, Oh,
Very
man.
similar.
He Troyed it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm telling you.
and he's like, "Papa Reese," and the dad comes out and he's like, "Hi, Ryan. What do you want?"
What the fuck do you want?
Yeah, like he clearly knows that Ryan's a piece of garbage, but like he
wonder
knows
if-
no other way for his son to be successful than to be on the football team.
At this point, I wonder, because we don't know a lot of what's to come, the reason for everything.
Yeah.
And I wonder if is his dad mad just because he quit the football team? It has nothing to do with the play.
It
I
might.
think so. It feels that way.
Well,
If-
at
if
this point in
is-
the movie, purposefully they made it seem like
It was
it was just the football
football
team.
Yeah.
I wonder
But
if he
then you
kinda-
find out more, and it
Yeah.
starts to make sense
Yeah.
a little bit.
It
But
d- I
like,
mean,
none of it ever
it's
really
a good
fully makes
reason
sense.
for him to like. It's a good reason for the dad not to. But by the way, what we're talking about is a spoiler. We're just going to jump ahead real quick to it. Reese's dad was supposed to be the person who got hanged
Yes.
in the original 1993 play. He, for some reason, he was
Called in
like he
sick. called
in sick or something.
Probably
yeah.
just like how Reese was feeling now.
Yeah, exactly. So like, so flashback then to him in the argument with Reese, like his father
Yeah.
having the argument. It does add a layer of depth of like, I don't want you, like I want you on the football team and not doing this, like because he knows like this has bad juju around it. It's
Or
got like
some kind of-
it's
Yeah,
like it's gonna
something
make
going
me
on.
uncomfortable at the very least
Yeah.
because like I have all this
Yeah.
guilt about doing that, which is cool. That's a layered perspective that you have to think
Yeah.
about.
Which also makes me wonder, why did this high school go ahead with doing
Doing
this
this.
play
There are
again?
so many plays
Why
to do.
did there are so many plays? This play doesn't even like it's just a random thing. And then it's like was the high school they're like, well, we want to honor Charlie, the kid who got hanged, except no one is willing to say his name.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
won't
'cause
even
it's like
say
bad
who
luck.
he was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
But
saying,
they're
was
like,
it
we
Macbeth?
wanna-
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like saying
Yeah.
Macbeth in like a real theater.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
like, oh, but we want to do the play.
Yeah.
Which,
But
I
for
mean,
what?
I guess. I don't know.
Nobody wants to
For
see
what?
this play. Parents
I would,
are outwardly
I would want to
like,
see this play.
trying to get their kids not to do it. You know?
But yeah,
Yeah.
like there of course there would be huge community backlash because like you said, small town Nebraska, like they're all going to talk, they're all going to
Probably
remember.
Christian.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
Like-
think
No,
that's,
his name's Reese.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah, go ahead. They're in the fridge, and the
Thanks, Forrest.
the bottle opener is like right over there. Sorry, mid break.
Little mid break. This is where we
Yeah.
would talk about a sponsor.
If we had one,
The Me Undies, but it depends. For every
Yeah.
time Forrest poops his pants.
I poop my pants a lot.
But yep, all the scary movies just really get you. I wouldn't say no to a sponsorship like that.
No, I
I'd
wouldn't
be, I'd
either.
be sitting in
That'd
this
be-
chair just.
That'd be what's up.
I wouldn't
I
have to
put
take
it
a
on my
bathroom break.
cat.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I mean, yeah. Hey, hello everybody. How's it going?
Yeah, you can't tell right now, but I'm peeing.
Have you guys ever worn MeUndies?
No.
No.
Me neither. But Josie has a pair of them.
Yeah,
And it's a very soft fabric.
Really?
it's supposed
Yeah,
to be
I'm-
some.
is
like,
it- is it a-
fancy
myself.
Is it only a male thing?
No.
No, they
Oh.
have.
Well, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
they
No,
have
they have-
like all kinds
Maybe
of
if
stuff.
they asked
Yeah.
us to do it, then Forrest.
I might
Forrest wears
buy
the-
some, I think.
I
Well,
think they-
use
they may be
discount.
worth it.
Use
Very-
discount code.
Insert discount code
Use
here.
use code
Misfit.
Xavier at checkout.
Oh yeah. Xavier gets the sponsorships, we don't get the sponsorships.
Yeah, no, I'm
See,
getting
and
the
you
money
know what's
for the
you know what's
sponsorships.
weird is if we were sponsored, all of our things would be Ghoul Crew 25, Ghoul
Yeah.
Crew 50. That
Yeah.
sounds like a very
Or Crew.
Xbox 2009, like
which is
Yeah.
good.
yeah,
XX School Crew underscore XX.
XX. Jumping back into it, we get to
Yeah.
the high school and they're gonna break in. They find that door, easy in. Fucking just they get right in, and then Ryan.
Dude, my favorite. This is right when this happens. This is my absolute favorite shot of the entire movie, other than Ryan's leg. My favorite shot in the entire movie is, or no. There's two really good ones, but this one is one of them. It's the hallway. So they have this long hallway, and Ryan is like getting something out of a bottom locker because for some reason they have the half
he breaks
lockers 'cause-
he breaks into the theater geeks thing.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
with his clothes.
Yeah.
Where does he get the tiny shirt?
I have that same note.
Where does it come from?
He just
did
holds
he
up the
sew
tiny
it?
shirt.
Did he sew the shirt? And if he did,
He also
craft
put
the
nipple holes
shirt.
in both sides of the regular shirt.
It goes all the way
we
through.
Yeah, like this. Oh,
If he sewed this shirt,
so many problems. With
how
this
does
prank.
he justify making fun of his friend for doing drama? Because this man is talented.
Yeah,
Like,
he can sew.
I
like,
love
he is
it.
a
He made a
designer.
shirt.
Yeah.
I love it. He goes, or do you want to wear the tiny shirt? And I'm like, what the fuck is
Who did this?
Yeah, I want to know where you got
that's,
this tiny
that's
shirt
one
from, Ryan.
person in wardrobe going, I want to play a prank.
Right.
Like,
Boss, tiny shirt here.
But like, yeah, that's so that's what he's doing. He's like showing off this prank that he's going to do on the nerd kid.
He's
and the nerd
he's
kid's
like laying on the
locker.
ground.
What? No, he's like sitting.
Oh, okay.
Or he's either sitting or like leaning over or like squatted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For one of because they're the half lockers.
Yeah.
Where they're not fully standing, so there's a locker about like 2 feet off the ground, and then another one on top of that.
Yeah.
And then so he's at a lower one, and one of the it's this just long hallway shot. So you see him kind of off to the right dealing with the bottom locker, and
Yeah.
one of the top lockers just opens.
Yeah.
Like slightly.
Yeah.
And then like when he goes to close the bottom locker, they both shut at the same time.
And that is our first paranormal
Ah.
act.
And I want to mention this is an 85-minute long movie.
Yeah.
And it took 30 minutes for them to get to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on with that.
Sorry, we're
I'm
talking about
definitely-
a spooky movie, and it looked like somebody just walked across our yard.
No, they were walking by.
They were?
Yeah.
Fuck, that scared me.
They're
But
holding
yeah,
they're-
so-
Forrest, I have
I'm-
a tiny shirt
dude,
for you.
I'm
30
a
minutes
baby. I'm
into
such
this
a little
85-minute
girl. I
movie.
can't.
This is over a third of
can't.
the way through, and finally something happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Up until now, it was like a high school drama.
Yeah, but like poorly shot.
Yeah.
And I this is something that bothers me about paranormal movies in general.
Mm-hmm.
Why do ghosts ramp up? Why, like, is it just because like
It's
if
just
this
for the
one
movie.
scares you, you can leave. Like,
Yeah.
and you leave, then it'll be done. And that's how I've always kind of justified it. But lately, it's just been this like little feeling in the back of my
Yeah.
head, this little like inkling of like.
Yeah.
This is just movie things.
Yeah,
and like
sorta-
I can forgive those things as long as I can have a justification. Like
Yeah.
even if it's 1,001 shot, if I have that justification, it'll be fine. And I can't give that one as a justification anymore. Of like the ghost is just trying to get him out because they do all this like familial like lineage shit for where it's
And
like
also-
I'm getting you.
Yeah. Sort of piggybacking off of that, this ghost Charlie died 20 years ago.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And So was this ghost just lingering, waiting for eventually the school to do that play again, and also for a group of high school students
Well,
to wander into the
That
school?
has,
The-
in my opinion, this all has to do with the ending. That I would
Yeah.
definitely want to talk about that for the ending because there's a lot.
Yeah,
to
we'll,
that.
Yeah.
we'll get more into that.
That is that ending it raises so many questions.
But the people were saying that like weird things happen in the theater, so like it is kind of already haunted, just not to that level. I think
He's casual
this
haunted. This is
yeah,
ranked.
Yeah, this is
Right.
like because they're putting on this play. He's done. He's pissed. He's like,
and it lines up
fuck.
with the sun being there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Which, like,
Why? I have
why
this,
does
I have
the
this for
ghost?
later.
Why does the ghost
Why,
care?
why does he want Ryan?
Why
or
does
Reese?
Why does
want
he
Reese?
care at all?
Because it's not his dad's fault.
No, it's not. It
Yeah.
is. If anything, he should probably be killing like the old administration
Yeah.
of the school, or like the person who originally made the gallows,
Yeah.
or like I don't
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
the
Or
kid
even
who
the-
put the net, the
even the
rope around
dad.
his neck, right?
Yeah.
Like, even the dad.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Reese.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Unless he misinterprets the breaking of the set.
I think that may be it.
Yeah. So-
Also, I want to point out that when they were breaking into the high school, I forgot about this. I just read it in my notes. The funniest fucking thing happens, and they're like, "Okay, we need to be all stealthy, and we need to get in here." And Cassie just eats shit. She just falls right on the ground and goes, "Ah!" And like, I was on the couch just like laughing my ass off because it's like that was genuinely funny.
he's
that
like-
was beautiful timing.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, she's laughing her ass off about it. Like,
Babe, get up.
Yeah,
Babe,
babe,
get up. So
we
they
need to go have bad sex.
bang my girlfriend. They make their way to the stage, and they're all standing there, and they're like, "Whoa, dude, this place is pretty creepy."
Oh yeah.
And they get to the stage, and everything's kind of quiet for a second, and then you hear this loud break, and it's Cassidy. She breaks this vase right on the ground and goes, "If we're here to break shit, we're here to
Yeah.
break shit." And
Which
then
is like a great point to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in it. Like
She's there
she's
for
the
a
most
job and she wants
honest
to do the job.
teenager like
Yeah.
in the thing. And to be honest, I think she's the best actress in the entire thing.
I would agree with that.
Because she acts like a teenager. Like I can see her being a kid going in and vandalizing and being like, I think I could like
yeah,
you're real. That
And
was the most incoherent thing I've ever said, but it's true.
No, I get what you're saying.
So Cassidy breaks the vase, and it just explodes. And
Oh,
they're
man,
like, "We're here to
so
break
good.
shit." So then Ryan goes. Ryan walks over to this plant, pushes it over, and goes, "Yeah!" Like
Yeah.
she breaks this thing, and she goes, "I'm here to fucking break shit." And then
Yeah,
like
she
Ryan,
breaks two things. She's
Yeah.
like just gah.
Yeah, they're kind of just like pushing things over and like moving things to a different spot, but they're not
Yeah.
really destroying anything.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they really like kind of destroy, I did finger quotes,
yeah,
is the
Finger gun.
the gallows. They start like unscrewing it,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
start taking it apart, like dismantling
right?
it. Yeah.
But they could just put that back
Yeah, there's-
together the
this
next day.
set
They have a full
easily-
school day
Yeah.
before this play.
And I got to tell
Yeah.
you, as a theater kid, if you saw that your shit was broken, it would almost be like a light from God. You'd be
Right.
like, I get to skip all my classes
Exactly.
today, and I get to fix this, and I get to fix all the little errors that I made when I was building this because
Yeah.
now I've got a motivation.
But at the same time, like perspective of high school students, if
Yeah,
you
they
go in
wouldn't
there
be
to
thinking
break
that hard,
things
yeah.
and you're like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna unscrew it.
Yeah.
Like that does actually kind of track.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Because they didn't come in with bats or anything like that, or like
yeah,
saws.
they were
so,
not
like,
very prepared.
Nah.
yeah. I would flamethrower.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, burn the school down.
Said it again.
They're taking down the set, and then they hear
Give me
this
the
loud.
McDouble.
Time for Forrest to eat the McDouble. So they're taking down the set. They take down the and also Ryan is. I know that they
such a
might.
baby.
I know they're not. I don't know their beliefs on the whole ghost or not. But
Yeah.
Ryan is just Charlie. Where you at? Like, Charlie.
Charlie.
And
he's been told that like
he
you
makes a
shouldn't
bunch
say
of
this name.
Oh, I'm hanging out just like Charlie was.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does a lot of like, Charlie, you're dead, and I'm like,
Right.
God damn, dude. Like I
Which-
get you're an asshole, but holy shit.
Yeah, that's like morose. Like he's
Yeah.
just making fun of someone who died, whether or not he believes in ghosts. He's
Yeah.
just making fun of a dead kid,
Which
Yeah.
again,
Which
that's
is-
a very teenage thing to
which
do.
is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
actually pretty accurate.
Yeah. They hear this loud bang and they all start running. And
That's my biggest complaint with this movie is the scares. There's only one really good scare that's
Yeah.
honest, and it's not a jump scare. And the jump scares,
yeah,
are bad. They're just loud. It's
Yeah.
startling. It's not scary. It's startling, and it's not fun. Like, it pissed me off more than anything. Like, 'cause like I had fun with her falling and like them beating up a nerd. Like, I like that. That's fun for me. But the jump scares were like, oh god, it's like it made me mad.
I wrote down the ghost just spends like 15 minutes making noise
Yeah.
before it does anything, which I guess is like
Yeah.
kind of a ghost thing to do in movies. So I'm not super mad about that, but
Good
it
job,
does
movie
feel
Ghost.
like it feels like the ghost could have done more. You know, I just feel like they could have had the ghost be a little bit more like
Yeah.
angry or like throwing shit at least, like
Yeah.
not because you can't just kill them right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
you,
it's that
you
thing
want
of,
it
like,
to be more
get
than
out,
just like
get
making
out,
noise.
get out.
Exactly.
They hear this noise and they're all freaked out. They're like on the ground in the middle of the theater in between the seats, and then they go to try to leave because they're just like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
They open the door and there is Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
There's Pfeiffer. Mm-hmm. And
FIFA.
the first thing Pfeiffer says is, "What are you guys doing here?" And the first thing I says,
What are
what
you
the fuck
doing?"
are you
Yeah.
doing here?
So she explains what she's doing there by saying that she saw Reese's car.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
You were just
that
patrolling.
she was driving around and it's dark. Street lights can light some stuff up, but they're not going to light up a high school parking lot. It won't be lit at this point at night.
Okay.
So she's going to see this random shape and be like, that's Reese's car, and then pull over into there and then wander around in the dark.
Yeah.
And then find her way to the theater department. Now, a lot of this is sort of
It's a movie.
it's a movie, and
a
it's
movie.
also
It's
a lot of it's answered.
possible.
It's answered.
Yeah.
too.
But
But
and his car's not remarkable. It's like a
Yeah.
93 Trans Am. Like, it's
Right.
not. It's something you'd see a high schooler driving,
It's a high
like
school kid
any
car.
high schooler. But I've taken those angsty drives of like right after you get your license and you're like, you're just mad at the world, and so you're driving around doing nothing at like Dark 30. You're just like, meh, meh, meh,
Yeah.
meh, meh, meh. And so like I
I
kind of
think
get what
that's
she's.
just you.
Is that?
no, I used to do
like-
that too. I would just
Okay.
drive
Yeah.
around because you don't have anything
Think-
to do.
yeah, there's no, like,
that's
there's
something
nothing
I
to
can
do,
relate
no outlet.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the Midwest, so like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you supposed to do on a Thursday night?
Yeah, when you're
Drive
like
around, I guess.
mad and can't drink. Like,
They meet up with her, and she's like, Reese, I need to talk to you in private. And then Ryan's like, I'm going to leave the camera here to let you guys talk.
which is such a bullshit move. That's
I felt
the like.
really bad
Are you
at
sure
this
that
part.
camera's off? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, baby, it is. I promise. The green light means it's off.
Standby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
he walks away and starts filming on his phone. And here's
Xavier had to take a minute. His hand went.
he walks away and he starts filming on his phone. And he's like, "Oh, I don't have any light. Good thing I've got click night vision." What fucking cell phone, especially in 2013, had night vision? I don't think phones now have night vision.
They do.
What the fuck?
I mean, I've never.
I've got
Also,
a shitty Chinese
at
phone,
some point
and they
before
absolutely
this-
have those.
At some point before this, Cassidy pulled out her phone,
Yeah.
and she has an iPhone 4.
Loser. I don't know the timeline for this.
It's 2013, and she's a popular.
That seems about
she's
right,
a popular
yeah.
high school girl.
Okay.
She would have like an iPhone 5 at least,
Come on, Cassidy.
if
step
not
up.
the like newest phone. What?
Yeah.
Maybe your parents aren't all that rich.
A lot of cell phone plans offer upgrades. I think that she would. I'm sorry, I'm gonna die on this hill. She would have had something better than an iPhone 4.
All right, you're right. You got me.
So then Piper goes, "What are you guys doing here?" And then there's this brief pause where Reese doesn't know what to say, and I said, "Reese, just be honest with her, dude. Just
Yeah.
be honest. Honesty is the
It's-
way to the
it's-
heart, and
yeah,
just
it-
be honest.
be
Tell her
honest
that
and
you're shitting
sincere.
out, and
Yeah.
you thought about breaking the set, but then we stopped. That would have been a better answer.
Yeah, like it just being honest.
Just
it's
being
like,
like, we
it's
were gonna
almost
break the
like
set,
that's the
but we're
best way to go
stopping.
about a relationship.
I feel like
But,
Forrest,
you know.
probably in high school, might have been the type of person to be honest in that situation.
Absolutely.
You and I were no. Like, I'm sorry, I wasn't a very good person in high school, and I would have definitely lied through my teeth. And then continued to lie.
No, see,
and
I
just
would've-
built a tower of lies so that the lie that they're the most angry about is the one on top. Breaking the set, they won't even care about that anymore because I have like 20 lies that I just built up.
What are you doing here? I love you.
I would have tried to convince her to come break the set with me. I would have been really
She
honest,
seems
and then I would have
dedicated.
been like,
Safe and neat.
It's gonna
She's-
be fun.
She's
Come on.
dedicated.
I probably would have just.
and I
What are
would've
you doing
fucked her
here?
Dad.
I just forgot my backpack.
I would have immediately went to the ground and gone, my glasses. My glasses.
They're on your face.
Yeah, I forgot my backpack backstage. Can you help me find it?
You're wearing it.
Oh, shit, I must have found it. See you
Let's go,
later,
guys.
babe.
Yeah.
Out the fucking
Babe.
door.
You would have called her
Done.
babe right away.
Yeah, I definitely would have. See you later, babe. Hop in my Trans Am, fucking speed off. Blast some Motley Crue.
Yeah. Gangsta my heart. So then I have the note is Big Liar Reese. He just lies and goes,
Yeah.
we're practicing.
What an-
That's the worst one you probably could have said.
It just, yeah, that's not a good.
It's not a good one. But then basically, so
haven't
she
had
believes him.
McDonald's in a long
She
time.
believes him, and she's kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm really excited for this, and I, know that you're not going to be fucking great, but the fact that we're here is
Yeah, we're here together. We're
is
doing this
cool.
as a team.
And he's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, you are, huh? Good.
yeah, that's
I don't
what
know.
you're doing.
I don't know, Gemma. Did we ask him? Did we ask Jack? The lies in the found footage paranormal, like the lies are just good. Like
It's
they're-
all over the place.
Man, the lies, the lying.
Lies.
So then
It's almost like
this is when
horror movies are an allegory for how you should behave and how you shouldn't behave, and the punishments for what happens when you don't behave. Oh yeah, good silence.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's just lazy writing, but.
Hey everybody, Hearn here. This is where we would take a break and throw in an ad, but we don't have any ads, so stay hydrated, stretch a little bit, and we appreciate every listen. Back to the show. Where are we at now?
So they just
ran
met
into
up with
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
and now so they get caught basically.
Yeah.
And then now, oh no, we can't leave. Is what we
Yeah,
got going
they
on.
so they like go to the doors because they're like, oh yeah, we'll just leave, and then they like after the Big Bang, and they're like, we can't.
And every door. This is where I wrote this note in. At this point, it feels like they enter another dimension
yeah.
because every door does not open, nothing is working, no phone lines,
Oh
nothing.
yeah, not a thing.
They
Which
are-
is like, that's a pretty common, at least the phone stuff and the doors, like, that's a pretty common ghost thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
ghosts can lock doors, and even
Yeah.
if they
Well-
seem like they shouldn't be locked, like, they'll still hold them shut or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
uh,
like, phones not working, I get that that's, like,
That's a high school thing. Like there are like signal jammers in high schools, very specifically. Like so
yeah.
that's a real one. Of
Right,
like
yeah.
I can suspend my disbelief that like their phones may not work. The one thing that pissed me off was she was like, my phone doesn't have any signal. And Ryan goes, well, that's what happens when you're on it all the time. And it's like, you bitch, you don't understand how phones work, you utter piece of garbage. I just want to
He's
punch
very
you in the
toxic
mouth.
masculinity. He's very
Like, that's
He
not
is-
how
he's-
phones work, you
he's a
teenager.
misogynist, but also
He's a bad Chad.
Like,
He's bad Chad.
He's a bad Chad. Like Chads are sometimes good.
Yeah.
He's a bad Chad.
He's a bad boy.
And this
He
dude
just
probably
needs to be
weighs like
spanked.
150.
Yeah, he needs to be spanked.
He's the mousetrap for us.
Yeah, sorry. I'll take the L on that.
Oh no.
Ah!
Bad Forest. Oh, also, since we're on the topic, Reese has a fucking jawline.
Yeah.
On
and
some
he can't
shots,
act.
On some shots when it's like pointing up to him. Oh man, like
Yeah.
dude's got a jawline. So basically, they can't get out, and they're doing everything they can to try to get out of this thing. And then they don't really handle stress that well.
No, they
do-
start screaming
They,
right away.
they start screaming right away. They cannot figure it out, and then
man.
instantly the truth comes out. And they go, we wouldn't fucking be. They instantly play the
Yeah.
blame game, and they go, well, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Well, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Yeah, and then
And I feel
then
like that's a
Cassidy-
stereotypical teenager thing because, like,
Yeah.
also as a teenager, if we had gotten locked in the building, we would have been problem solving right away. We'd have been
Yeah.
like, "How the fuck can we get out of here?" Which is a
Yeah,
window
I
we
would
can
have.
open.
I would have been like, "Where are the windows? Oh, there are no windows.
Yeah.
Why the fuck does my high school have windows? What if there's a fire?
yeah, like,
And
what's
I'm
the best place to stay? And it's like,
Okay, and then
yeah,
at that point, this is where I wrote down. So like, this is when they're trying to find a way
Yeah.
out, right? And they're like, "Oh, the windows have bars on them,"
Mm-hmm.
which is weird. At that point in my brain, I'm like, okay, I also wrote down, do these people not know what ghosts are? Which is like, that's pretty. You see that a lot in movies where they're like, I don't know what's going on. But
Yeah.
if that was happening to
And-
me, I would be like, there's a fucking ghost. Like, this is a ghost.
Yeah.
How do you not know this?
Yeah.
There's like, it's spooky. So I want to leave no matter what. This
And-
thing is going to kill me, right?
And
So
Ryan knows because he not Ryan doesn't know, but he's just continuously like egging on, like You want to
Yeah.
fucking put us in here? You want to fucking this and
like,
that? And I'm like,
he's doing what I would do
Jesus.
if I were in a paranormal situation, which is antagonize the ghost.
There you
Because
go.
like
I wouldn't.
this is a stance that like I'm gonna have for the rest of this podcast. I don't believe in ghosts.
Hello, everybody. Hearn here. Just to let you know, after Forrest had said this, an argument between Forrest and Xavier broke out. And due to podcast length and editing, I had to completely cut it. I might upload it some other time. But until then, back to the episode.
Even if you don't know it's a ghost,
Like,
you're
you know,
still, like,
some funky
something's
shit is going on.
and I
Absolutely.
definitely need to leave because
I
we're
agree.
going to die. Because I think at this point, had Cassidy been choked yet?
No.
Okay. So at this point, they don't know that they're like actively in danger, but they do know they need to leave.
Yeah.
And they can't leave, and something's stopping them from like getting out.
Yeah.
I would have pulled the fire alarm at that point.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would have found it and
done
pulled it.
something like
And fuck it. Like,
'Cause,
if
I
I
mean,
get in trouble, I get in trouble. They're not
it's-
going to arrest me.
it's
But
worth
they
a
might
shot,
actually arrest
even if
you.
the
It's an
like
actual
ghost
crime.
stops it.
Yeah.
Even if the ghost stops it, it's a like it's something. They didn't even try that.
Yeah.
I would have. I agree. Like that's something
At
you
that
go
point.
to.
They did
Yeah.
try it. I guess they try it later, but it took them so long.
So I want to skip to Cassidy getting choked
Okay.
because
But
that
then
moves
we're
it on.
skipping the dark corridor and the tiny door.
They basically, when I say they go into another dimension, that's how I feel about this. This school has like these fucking like walkways and hallways and chambers and doors and like
There's like a bedroom for the janitor
And,
There's a
like-
TV
and there's, like,
empty
they-
pizza boxes and
oh, the TV. I fucking hated that exposition. It was
Yeah.
so forced and shitty.
Yeah.
It was so garbage, man. I was so pissed at this movie at that point because it's like they walk into this room and then suddenly they're all quiet and the camera's very steady on this one TV and the TV's like mysteriously on and staticky and it's
Yeah.
like in 1993 I don't know why they're from the 40s but they are and from 1993 breaking news.
The Japanese bombed
Bombed
Pearl
Pearl
Harbor.
Harbor.
Also, there's a ghost.
Ooh.
So they find the TV, and it kind of tells this tale of 1993 article of what happened, the original stuff, and it shows a picture, and Reese immediately gets like triggered and knows the truth now, which I feel like you would have known the truth by now about like how
Yeah.
that was your dad or whatever. And I don't like this very much at all, but he runs all the way, and this is where shit really starts popping off. He sees his dad, and so in like the
picture.
in the picture. So he runs back to. He doesn't say a word. He immediately gets up, grabs
And
the
that's
camera.
the thing. That's the thing that pisses me off about this particular run is he just like runs and they're like, "What? Tell us what's going on? What's going on?" And that goes on for too long. And it's
does
like
not give an answer.
you'd be like, "Hold on, guys. I think I figured something out," and then you'd run. Like you wouldn't just be quiet. Being quiet is unnecessary. It's inhuman. Like it's not something a human would do, no matter how stressed you are. You'd be like, "Hold on."
Or at
like,
least
stop.
like,
Give me a second.
Oh, fuck.
You fuck.
fuck. I just,
Yeah.
a brain blast.
Yeah, I got a thing. Hold on. Like even
Yeah.
if you can't articulate it, you'd be like, guys, like you would find a way to take control
Yeah.
of the like, don't worry or like be worried, but like I think I figured something out. Yeah.
And so they run and they go to the old picture. And if you guys are all together, and if hypothetically Xavier picks up our recording device and starts running,
Yeah.
we're gonna go with him.
Yes.
Right.
Because
Yes,
you're the
that's
only
true.
source of light and everything
Yeah.
else. But they do that and they run, and Ryan just doesn't go
Doesn't
with
come
them,
with.
or he gets
Yeah,
lost.
he just stays behind because he's a dick.
yeah, and
He's like, Reese is
My
PMSing.
phone has night vision. I don't have to go.
Yeah.
and so then they run and they find the picture, and does he break the glass? He just breaks
Yeah,
the glass and
yeah.
pulls the picture, and he goes, and he doesn't even say anything until Piper
No, he
grabs
just,
the
like-
picture. Yeah, he's just like breathing at this picture, and then Piper grabs it and goes, "Is this your dad?"
And then they like flip it over and everyone signed it.
Yeah, and so they find out that it's his dad, and so you kind of put the two together. That, and he even says it. He says that that Reese's dad was the original cast member who was supposed to be the person to get like hung,
Yeah.
and then he
Hanged.
called in sick, and then it resulted in Charlie playing that scene. And
Yeah, the
that's it.
understudy getting.
And so they
executed.
don't, and even me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know what to do with that information. Like, I wouldn't know, like, oh, it was my dad. Like, oh,
Yeah,
So
I would
what?
be like, why does the ghost care?
Yeah. Why? Well, then why me? Why I didn't do this?
Yeah, he just immediately accepts the guilt.
Yeah.
He's like, this is all my fault. But it's not. It's not
Yeah.
even his dad's
No,
fault.
it's not.
even like his
dad got
fault by-
sick.
Well,
Like
his dad got scared and didn't do
Yeah.
it because he was a kid in high school who wasn't really a drama kid, right?
Yeah,
and
which
so he
is
backed out,
fair.
which is fine, whatever. And sure, ghosts are malevolent and like
it's-
hold on to grudges, but I think the ghost
the
probably
ghost
would have
should
a
have
problem
gone.
with other people.
Yeah, it should have gone after the
There's like a
administration,
list.
like you said at the beginning. Like there's so many
There's
people
a
he should have gone
laundry
after
list, man.
before the
Yeah.
guy who just got cold feet.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's just opportunity. Like the ghost found somebody that is related to this problem and decided,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I'm just gonna.
So,
I'm angry.
to
I'm
be
gonna
fair,
blow
it's
my
like-
load now.
It's like, yeah, this guy, like, he's acting in it. He's the lead. He was supposed to be, his dad was supposed to be the lead. He broke in. He was trashing shit. So, like, it does make sense. It's like, oh, I'm going to get this guy because he's like,
Right.
there is a connection.
I bet Charlie was
Uh,
excited to play the main role then.
Right? Yeah, like,
You know.
you're stoked.
Yeah, because he was originally just supposed to be
The
My
hangman.
glasses
the
against
hangman. Yeah.
There's a really great note in here. Cassidy got yoinked.
Yeah.
Because she does. She gets yoinked several times.
Is that when they're standing there and they hear something above?
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
So they're standing, talking about this way too loud, being way too hysterical, and like feet above them.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like their footsteps, and like it's a genuinely creepy moment, and that's how you do fucking creepy. That's how you do scary. But then they jump scare it, and they just like oh, I scared my cat. Like they go nuts, like
Yeah.
out of nowhere. And it's because she is getting pulled by the neck by an invisible force, and like they're following her
Yeah.
with this, which is like, that's fair. They have like their arms around her trying to help, but there's like nothing actually
Yeah.
around her neck. And then it like cuts, or it doesn't cut, but like it shows off her neck, and it's like, it's got visible
rope
like
burn.
rope burn or like scar. Yeah.
And this is when
Burn.
like
That's good.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of that. Nowhere in my notes is that fucking too soon.
so they kind of make their way back to like the main area, and Ryan is just fucking mad, and he turns into this toxic boyfriend where he's like, "Don't fucking touch my girlfriend, this and that, but help her,
Yeah.
help my girlfriend." Just fucking. He's like, "Piper, don't touch my fucking girlfriend." And then like she's sitting there and she's like, and
Yeah,
she's like,
she's
"Piper, don't touch my
choking.
girlfriend. That's my girlfriend. Don't touch her. Stop. I know what I'm doing. What do I do to help?" And so then,
man.
he really starts digging, and he's like, "Oh, Charlie,
Yeah.
did this and that.
And they
You're
see
an asshole."
They see an AC vent up top.
Yeah,
And
so he's like, "I'm fucking sick of this, and
Yeah.
I'm getting us out of here right now." And everyone's like,
And I'm
"No,
gonna
dude,
climb through this vent.
yeah, like,
Which I don't even know what it goes to.
yeah, they
No
don't
one
know
knows
where it
where it
goes.
goes.
They even
Yeah.
said it may lead outside. They don't know, because it was Pfeiffer who notices it, and she goes, "Oh, hey, check it out. That may lead outside." She even like prefaces like she don't know.
Yeah.
Like no one knows where that's gonna go. If anything, it goes to an AC duct.
And
that's
also,
like,
this ghost spent so much time starting to scare them, and finally he gets his rope around a girl's neck, and then he just lets her go.
yeah,
As that ghost, I would have killed her. Then and there, to
Is
send a
that
message
moment.
like, "Hey, you're fucked."
yeah.
But instead, he's just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna burn you. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna give you rope burn. I'm just gonna woo. I'm a ghost."
If we're going off the assumption of like he's really trying to get them out, A, he shouldn't have locked the doors. B, yeah, he's just fucking with them for pleasure now.
Yeah, I don't
like,
think
it's,
that he
it's,
was, like-
it's not actually like
Yeah, he
killing them
wasn't
isn't
trying
the
to get them
goal.
out.
Like,
I
and
think he
trying to
was-
get them out
I
wasn't
think-
the goal.
Yeah, I think he was trying to just kill him. But why
But,
would
like,
he
he's
have just
he's trying to
done
fuck
it
with them.
at
That's in one of the notes I have
Yeah.
later on. Is what is the capabilities of Charlie?
Yeah.
Because he's so
Quite a
Reese-
bit.
Ryan climbs the ladder.
Yeah.
and he starts fucking with the van. I don't know what
dude.
his plans are. He
Yeah,
doesn't
because
have-
it's like stapled or like stapled. It's screwed in, and he's just like touching
grabbing
it.
at
Yeah,
it,
he's just kind of like doing this really bad mime over it. Like, I'm trying to unscrew it, but I'm also yelling, and I have a rope attached to me that's going to pull me.
and
like,
he flies
flies back.
back and gets fucked.
this is
He-
this
he-
is one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie because it gets separated into two
Yeah.
different
two different
perspectives.
perspectives.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. And it's like when you get 5 writers together and one of them's good, like this is what happens. The rest of the movie's garbage. This is cool.
I appreciated that they're in a theater and he broke a leg.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And Oh God, I laughed so hard.
That's good irony.
Yeah, like I was cackling at this dude. I was laughing so hard because it's like, oh yeah, Ryan got hurt. Oh, he got hurt so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, if it's that kind of like poetic justice that you don't feel good about enjoying, but you're watching a horror movie, so it doesn't matter. Like you're kind of like, yeah, get it.
So Piper and Reese are trying to find a way out, and they just can't find a way out. And they tell Cassidy to stay with Ryan while they try to go figure out what's going on. And then Cassidy meets up with Ryan or Reese and Piper, and they're like, "Dude, what the fuck do we do?" And they run back to where Ryan was, and the door's locked.
Shut.
And you just hear screaming. Yeah. You just hear they can't get the door open, and then everything dead silence.
And then they can open the door.
Then like a loud bang happens, and they can open the door to go back where Ryan was, and Ryan's gone, but they find his phone.
Yeah.
And they do not know. They do not know what happened to Ryan.
Yeah.
They never figure. They find it out later, I guess.
They don't know what happened to him. They just know the end result of what happened.
So they find Ryan's phone. And then the movie plays the perspective of what happens on Ryan's phone,
which is
what
cool.
happens on the camera that they're going off of, because they don't watch that footage.
The other thing is, this really pisses me off. It's the glitching. It's the unfriended glitching.
Yeah.
It's
Camera glitching.
That doesn't happen on a phone. It just doesn't. And I like if you want to explain it as ghosty shit, like cool, whatever. But explain that the ghost is going to do that for all the cameras then, like or like. When and why? Why is it glitching at this point? Like,
I think normally it's like a sign of the ghost being close. Yeah, because okay, if you want some pseudoscience, I'll give you some pseudoscience.
Yeah, bring it.
Ghosts emit electronic waves, similar to a miniature like EMP burst, right? So they're gonna start fucking with like electronics, cameras, voice recordings, shit like that. It's how they communicate.
Yeah.
So like it makes sense that they would like mess up or whatever, glitch.
Yeah.
But what bothered me about it was the fact that, okay, he has a phone that has night vision. It also is an Android for sure, because when Reese picks up the phone, he picks it up in two pieces.
Yeah.
How was the phone still filming when the fucking battery was out?
Yeah.
How?
In his phone?
Yes.
Oh, was it?
It was just the back. It wasn't the battery. It was just like the back of the phone, which means it was an Android. You're right.
Yeah, so he has an Android with night vision capabilities. Still a problem in my mind, but I'm glad we cleared up the battery being out.
Yeah, I don't think the battery is out. It's just like the back case.
It shows the perspective of Ryan where he's in there and he's yelling at Cassidy to do something.
And his leg is broke.
Yeah,
it's like broke.
That's a compound fracture.
Yeah, so it was beautiful.
There should have been more blood, I think.
I mean, it was like bleeding through his jeans, which was cool. Like, because it wasn't gory.
I wish it was just
like
a little
dark.
bit more like showing maybe on the ground.
Yeah,
because it would be bleeding a lot. You know, your bone punctures through your skin. There'd be a fair amount. Of blood.
Absolutely.
Not that I'm like trying to say, oh, this movie just wasn't gory enough for me. Or
it's just like that particular thing.
It
actually was too low for a horror movie.
Yeah,
it was too ungory.
They tried to go under.
The
normal. They should have tried to. I don't know. I'm I'm no big city movie producer.
They see Ryan's perspective, and he's just laying in there. They see Cassidy leave, and that door closes, and then you start seeing what he was screaming about. And this is when you get a first glimpse of Charlie. And I got to be honest, Charlie looks like a fucking badass.
He looks like Kane.
He's a beefcake.
He looks like the guy from the Disturbed album.
Yeah,
holding a fucking. He's just fucking
holding the noose,
and like he looks like drapey and like demonic. Like he looks.
He's got the old executioner vibe, but you can tell it's the executioner just on the silhouette.
He just has that silhouetted drape over.
You don't need to see any of the actual spookiness of it.
He should have been the ghost of a high school kid, though.
That's another thing. That's one that. Yeah, does the ghost grow up?
Yeah, did the ghost? Was he hitting the gym?
Because he looked like in the 1993 video, he's a scrawny blonde kid,
and you see him. Yeah. And so then they separate. I don't know how. I don't know where this separation happens. But there's a separation where Cassidy is left, and Piper and Ryan go try to find a way.
Yeah,
and so they go into the locker room, and a phone starts ringing, and it's Ryan's phone.
Yeah,
Reese's phone.
It's Reese's phone
inside of a locker from his dad.
Yeah, because he's trying to get a thing to the window, and it doesn't work because he runs out of light and blah blah blah. Like that's the most boring scene. I hate it. It's unnecessary. Like it's just boring.
It's just problem.
Yeah,
It's just a bunch of inconveniences for what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't feel bad
Oh.
for any of these kids because they just keep making bad choices.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a big problem with a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Where you have to build an emotional connection with these people so that you can be scared for these people.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
And
because you're
if
sort
they're
of living through them or whatever. If you make them all just like generally fairly unlikable and also very stupid, I'm not going to feel bad or be scared as much because what's there to be scared of? They're all asking for it, basically.
Yeah, and asking for it's really a dubious thing to say, but it's true. Like if they constantly make the wrong decisions without thinking, they're gonna end up in a situation like this. This leads me to one of the best moments in the entire movie, and that's Cassidy. Because Pfeiffer and
That was a pretty cool
Pfeiffer
shot.
and Ryan are dealing with the thing,
phone
and
thing.
she's off, like she's in a stairwell, and on one of the flat parts of the stairwell, she's got her back on the sort of stanchion thing, and she's just breathing. She's got the camera right here, and you just see blackness up the stairs, which is what stairs look like. Like this didn't seem unnatural.
No,
and then you
have like
see,
the red floodlights and everything. It makes sense.
And then you just see him right next to her, and it's so scary. It's not a jump scare. It happens so subtly.
It's a feeling
and
of
then you're
uneasy.
and then but he's right there, and it's like it's terrifying. You're like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, turn around. You feel like the stereotypical loud people in a movie theater where you're like, oh, he's behind you, and because that's what I was doing. And then she comes forward, and then she kind of looks back at it, and it's gone, and then she looks forward, and you can see her neck, and it's got a noose on it, and then she just gets fucking yanked.
And she gets it's not like a quick. It's a quick pull, but
And a
you
drag.
see
It's
the
consistent.
whole pull.
Yeah, you see her go all the way,
was
and
pretty
That was a
it's
cool
scary.
shot. I did like that.
And you see that one of her shoes is left behind, and then you see Pfeiffer and Ryan go by, and they're like, what the hell? Because she's just disappeared and gone quiet when they come by, because they're coming by to check the noise, and then it's like, there's just this shoe. What the fuck?
Yeah.
She
Whose
must have
shoe
ran
could
away.
this be?
Yeah, she must have ran away.
And she forgot her shoe.
Oh man.
And then Reese grabs it and goes,
Yeah.
"It's Cassidy's shoe."
It's that thing we were talking about where it's just like it's just like
So basically, at this point, Reese has completely accepted that this is not necessarily fate, but this is his fault.
Yeah.
Which it feels like I kind of feel bad for him because it's
Yeah.
it's like damn,
It's
it's
not.
not your fault.
Also, at this point, they had tried the fire alarm, right?
yeah, they had pulled it.
They had pulled it, and then they're just sitting there together, and
Yeah.
the lights were going off and on, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, man, this is gonna
Yeah.
get." And then they turned the camera light on, and I was like, "Good,
Yeah.
good." And then Piper makes one of the dumbest decisions I have ever seen in a movie like this.
Yeah.
You kind of see the entity there, and they take the ladder.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
this
so
pisses me off.
stupid.
Okay, so
If I was Reese-
this happened. We
No.
I would say
they're
yeah.
running, and it's Reese who makes the decision. He goes, "Take the ladder."
Yeah. Okay.
and she climbs up the ladder. This thing is chasing you.
Right.
It's like you keep running
That is
forward.
the slowest you could possibly be.
and
you can only go up a ladder
could've
and
just
so
that leads
fast.
that leads to the good jump scare in this movie.
It's when
I
he's
popped,
up the
I know.
ladder.
I know.
Yeah, I made up.
He's going up the ladder, and he looks back, and it's right
and it's
there.
crystal
That
clear.
is pretty good.
It's crystal clear. It's not like a shaky blah 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 blah. You
It's-
see every detail of this
Right.
guy's face. And I was yelling. Mario was here. He was getting ready for work while I was watching it with a friend of mine last night. And I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm like, "Why would you take the ladder? Why would you?" Because it genuinely scared me.
It's
I out loud yelled.
It's like when you're playing a video game, and you're gonna make the jump or you're gonna make the save.
Yeah.
But just that anticipation
No,
of
and
it
that
being
was-
right behind
it-
you was the
it-
scariest thing.
Yeah, for me, it's less about the jump scare and more about this feeling of fuck.
It's right behind
It's like
you,
when you're
yeah.
a kid and you're running up the stairs.
Stairs, yeah. Like if you had to
and,
go to the basement to
yeah.
get something, and then you had to run
and
back
you
upstairs.
feel like there's
Yeah.
something behind you. Except
Yeah.
in this situation, they know
No,
there's something
yeah,
back there, right?
which is gotta be worse.
This is one of the parts of the movie where I think it really benefited from the sort of free shaky cam.
Yeah,
sort of thing, 'cause
exactly.
it
They
made
used
it
that to their
feel
advantage.
More real. It
Yeah.
made it feel like it really
Something
gave you that
you've
feeling.
seen.
Yeah,
It's
it
something
gave
that
you that feeling of, oh fuck, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Like I need to move.
Like,
and this girl in front of me can only go so fast.
and he's like pushing her.
Yeah.
He's trying his best, and he's like kicking off the like you can feel that he's trying to like kick and get Charlie off of him because it's like shaking and everything, and it's like that is good fucking movie making right there. But then
we get to the ceiling. We get to the ceiling scene, and it's more paranormal than ever. You start seeing a long rope going by.
Charlie
and they
just disappears,
and then
suddenly
they
has
start-
no ghost powers, can't just like come in front of them,
can't
like,
be at the top. It'd be crazy if he was at the top of the ladder. They lock him. Well, he does go up the ladder, and then they close the door on him.
Yeah,
and then
I guess that door is like ghost proof.
ghost-proof door.
He
It's
can't
been
go through that
blessed.
one.
Yeah. And then they go through the fucking this because they're on top of, they're like in the ceiling,
Like almost
of where
in the
the
rafters.
stage is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
in the
fucking
rafters.
huge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Like when I was saying this is not a high school theater, it's like I've been in those rafters. I've had to like adjust lights and shit
But
on
it's-
those, and that's enormous. They're in the like attic
Yeah,
of
there's
the
a lot of
of
standing
the
room.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because there's like insulation, there's piping,
Vents and
there's
everything, and-
HVAC stuff. Like it's the attic.
And then I don't remember how they get back down because
Oh,
they'd already
no,
pulled the fire
no.
alarm, and then the fire alarm.
they
get
run
back-
into the bodies.
Yeah,
first.
they run into the bodies.
and they run into Cassidy.
No, they see his face. They find the picture, and he's like holding up the picture in front of the camera because it's like there's going to be a reveal, and he pulls the picture down, and it's Ryan's face, like hung face, and then they turn around, like he turns the camera, and Pfeiffer's facing away from it, and all you see is the legs of Cassidy, but you know it's Cassidy because
only
he's
has
got
one
one shoe.
Isn't the person that's hanging? Isn't it Charlie?
No,
it's Ryan.
No, it's Ryan.
Is it Ryan?
It's
Yeah.
Ryan.
Okay,
Yeah.
I swore I thought it was Charlie.
No, that's right.
No, that's Ryan.
No, I don't know how they get back down.
Silly, Charlie's the ghost.
Yeah, they go
Yeah.
down somehow.
Yeah,
because
it-
they're
it
like,
just, like,
oh, the
cut.
cops should be here.
Yeah.
Because they pulled the fire alarm. Cops, terrible fucking response time.
Oh, dude.
Police and firefighters,
Well, I mean-
what
Well,
are they
it's the-
doing?
it's the
in
sheriff
small
of
town?
Nebraska-
No matter
of small
what,
town
they
Nebraska
have to
going
show
like,
up
"Meh."
if the fire alarm
Yeah.
is pulled. Like, they
Yeah.
have to at least to turn it off.
Yeah.
And, like, it turns off by itself. Sure. They still have
You
to
still have to
show
respond,
up. They
yeah.
still have to, like...
Yeah.
So
That's why you
where
have
did-
to call ahead if you're doing a fire drill, being
Yeah.
like, "Hi, we're having a fire drill at this time, so the alarm's going to go off. You can ignore it,
Right.
like
Yeah.
because they are like it is
I think
their
they still have to
responsibility."
they still have to show up, don't they?
No,
Sometimes they do.
I feel like
It
every
depends.
time in elementary school they did.
I think
Yeah,
maybe
uh,
they do, like, if
at-
it's like a planned city one.
I don't
Yeah.
They'll do it because then they'll
Yeah.
like run through their whole thing where they have to
yeah,
go in and
if
clear
they're
out the
also
building.
a part of the drill,
Yeah.
because
But-
at Meredith they didn't.
know.
Yeah.
So they get back to the stage area, and they
wanna touch
they get down to the bottom, and they see the door that was originally that they came through is open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they make their way across. They're like, I don't see anybody. Let's just fucking book
Oh,
it.
and yeah, Ryan
Let's just
Ryan
book it.
goes and
Yeah,
then he
he-
turns
or
around.
Reese.
Sorry. Reese goes and all he hears is Pfeiffer choking.
He
Right.
makes it out, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, thank God!" And then turns around, and Pfeiffer's gone. I would have had
I would have
had a bear grip on this girl.
Yeah,
I would have
yeah.
had her in front of me. I would have fucking suplex carried her. I don't care how, but I would have done like
Yeah,
Yeah.
the-
I
'Cause
get
they're
out
your
that door
only,
though.
like-
I get out
I'm not
and I
going back
turn
in.
and I
Yeah,
see
this is a
that
good question.
I get
Would
the
you-
fuck out.
Yeah, no,
no
I'd be
way.
out.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
You're in high school and you're not even dating her. You know, it's
Yeah,
not like he's
like-
like in love with her madly, right? Like he barely
I'm-
knows this girl. Your closest friend
Yep.
just died.
Yep.
His girlfriend just died. She most likely, in your mind at this point, is going to die. And if you go back in, that's just sealing your fate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck that. I'm getting in my car and leaving.
Yeah, like or I'm waiting for the I'm
Sitting
staying
outside and
outside
waiting for, like,
and
the
I'm waiting
cops.
for the cops so I can show them the video and be like, I swear to God
Yeah.
that this is
God's not going
like
to help you now.
yeah, like this is not something that's normal. I didn't do
Yeah.
any of this.
Yeah.
Right.
And so then he goes back inside, and the door closes and locks, so he
Yeah.
can't leave anymore. And he goes back out there, and he kind of like helps Pfeiffer because she's kind of like choking. And
Yeah.
they get her back up, and they're sitting there together, and it's kind of quiet. And then boom,
Stage lights.
stage lights,
Which
and
okay, I didn't like at first, but then Mario said something that I was like, okay, yeah, I get it.
they're laying there, and the lights are on, and they're kind of looking at the stage lights, and you're getting the POV. It's this.
Yeah, it's from the rafters from the like original or the very
turns
first
on,
thing
like,
of
up
like
top or
Ryan.
something.
Yeah,
Like what Ryan was supposed to film for this thing because they're
Right.
all
Where
in a
he's
theater
at.
class.
Yeah.
Like that was his job.
so you see them, and they're sitting there, and then they start. This Forrest was watching this, and he starts going, "Don't start saying lines."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Start
I
saying
can't.
lines.
I could
Yeah,
not fucking
well,
believe it,
and-
man.
and that's-
how like
No,
That's
yeah,
what
that
I was
makes no
thinking.
sense.
But then
Parts of me-
Mario said something, and I was like, if you've had this traumatic experience and you've tried to put these pieces together, I can understand why you would do this when the lights
to
came
me,
on.
it's like obviously Charlie's doing this.
yeah.
And so you think that who turns the stage lights on? Charlie. Who's looking at you right now with all this fucking tension? Charlie. So you, in the notes, I just have say it.
Say it.
So
Yeah,
I
and
feel
that's-
like
yeah.
Charlie is just dead staring at them, and they can't see this, but he's just like, do it.
Yeah.
Say the fucking lines. Say the fucking lines. You
Yeah.
know, Reese. You know everything now.
Yeah.
Say the fucking lines. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Obviously, like for movie wise, you'd fucking get up and grab Pfeiffer and try to fucking leave.
Yeah.
Obviously, but like for the movie purposes, you can just tell that like this is what the plot
yeah.
and like the whole
It's
thing.
what it was all kind of building up to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just in my mind. So Reese they both know, and Pfeiffer is Pfeiffer, and we know more about her at the end. But Reese at this point is like, I know what happens at the end of the story.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he knows that he's going to get hung. So from my standpoint, it's just kind of, it feels forced that they're like, yeah, and now you're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
start saying the lines.
And
Yeah.
the lines are
And
really
it's like-
bad.
Yeah. Art thou?
Yeah. Art thou the gallows?
Yeah,
in
just
the
terrible,
it, like,
terrible, like fake
And
old
she's
English.
Yeah.
she in my mind is in. This is going to bring up for the ending and everything. She's playing into it. He's
Yeah.
playing into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets up on the gallows, and
It does these really cool shots of like from real perspective and then like ghost perspective, or like
I know
where
what
you
you
can
mean.
see the ghost
Yeah.
and where you can't see the ghost.
Yeah.
yeah,
And you
said
see
it
like
was,
what
the
he's
shadows.
doing. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
You see the silhouette of him, and then you see because he gets on the gallows and he puts the noose around his neck,
Yeah.
and she's into it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like saying her
she's
lines
she's like
and, like-
going into it, and he's like, wait
He's
a
like,
minute.
Yeah.
fuck.
'Cause
Like,
she's
maybe
like,
I
she's
shouldn't
like,
have done
August,
this.
no, August, don't. I can't believe it.
And he's like, what the fuck are you
Stop
talking
saying my
about?
name. Like, stop saying that name. Stop saying that name. And then like,
You see Charlie, you see Charlie walk up, and it's very intense,
Yeah.
and then he pulls the fucking thing, and he dies.
And it cuts to
Yeah.
black.
And-
And then it goes to the house.
No,
right?
no, because they bow first.
Yeah.
And it's creepy as shit. Great part is them just like she bows,
As
and,
if she's holding somebody's hand and everything.
and then it like does that same sort of flash where it's Charlie like
Yeah.
next to her, and they bow, and then all you hear is like the single lonely like
Yeah. Shia
from the
LaBeouf
audience.
and
Yeah,
the audience
exactly.
clapping.
And you see like
You just see
a woman.
but you can't make it out.
Yeah,
you
you
just
don't-
see a
you just
woman.
see a
You
woman.
just see long
You know-
hair, and you don't
yeah.
know.
And then that's when it cuts to the house.
Right.
And this is my big. This is a big point for me. Police body cams do not pick up sound that well because they're like waterproof, and so they've got that like GoPro sound to them where it's like
Yeah.
muffled like this. And
Why
this
did
was
the
like
cops go to?
crystal
Why
clear.
did the cops go to her house?
I don't remember if there was any captions behind this or not, or maybe I don't know.
It was just like
There was no captions.
something police department like, and they were like responding to like we can't
Some
find
code.
Pfeiffer. Like yeah,
Something
but
like
why
that.
they were there?
Yeah,
don't
why
know.
did they go to her house? Did they go to the high school? Like they
And
see
Yeah,
discover all of
I
this?
car
guess.
and they like find their bodies.
And
Yeah.
then they
Yes.
discover.
And then they're like, okay, let's fucking just throw shit into the wind and hope that it's
Yeah.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Like,
These are
And-
terrible cops. Like
so
I
they-
don't really care for cops as they are, but these are really bad cops.
Right.
Like they're bad at their jobs.
they go inside this house. They go through the front door or whatever it is. They go inside and they're like, "Oh, we're small town Nebraska Police Department. Like,
Yeah.
let what's going on?" And they hear like static, kind of like the
Yeah,
same
they-
stuff from the TV
Yeah.
scene. And they go through the door, and just one of them goes through that door,
So stupid. You
looks
go
through
with
the
backup.
door, and goes inside to the room, looks at the TV, and is like, "What the fuck?" Like I feel it's like the cop knew about this. Like he
Yeah.
grew up in this town and he
Yeah.
knows about this story. So he's like, 1993, like Charlie,
yeah,
like
like, I haven't thought
what
about
the
that,
fuck? And he looks
yeah.
over to the bed, and there is Pfeiffer and the
woman.
woman, and the woman is Charlie's girlfriend. He would have been the Piper to Reese. And so it's Piper and
Pfeiffer.
the woman Pfeiffer. Is it? I keep on saying Piper because
it starts with a P.
And that's why I just can't say it. And so they're sitting there and they're in nightgowns.
Yeah,
and
she's
like
the mom
brushing
is
her
brushing
hair.
Piper's hair. Yeah,
and Piper's out of it.
Yeah,
like
they're
she's
like
not
very
normal.
witchy, staring at the like Blair witching this this TV that's playing footage, like the old footage.
And what do
it's
they
like,
say when they like turn their head at him and look at him?
You shouldn't say that name.
Yeah,
because he's like Charlie. Is it you shouldn't say that name? And then you look down the hallway while he's looking at them, and you see the police officer getting thrown into the door, being choked out
by a noose. Like
And-
you see the noose like pulling him up.
right.
Yeah, and then that cop dies.
I hate this.
That cop dies, and then he looks back over at them, and they're not doing anything crazy. It wasn't like he was looking at his partner die, and then looks back over, and they were right there.
Yeah.
They're just continuously standing there. They're sitting there,
sitting and staring at him, and then he looks like slightly more to the right,
and Charlie is full view
and it
right
does the,
there and
like,
attacks. Yeah, and then that's how the movie ends.
So just a few questions. Number one, going back to small town Nebraska, how the fuck did nobody know that Pfeiffer is Charlie's daughter?
That's-
doesn't make any sense. That really bugs the shit out of
Is
me.
that
Impossible
what
to
it is?
hide. Yeah.
So-
well, it
Is Pfeiffer the daughter?
Yeah,
because
I'm assuming.
there's no on the pictures. There's no dad.
Yeah.
None of the pictures there's a dad. It's just like it's like
Lady
her
and-
and Lady
So,
and Charlie,
like-
Lady and Pfeiffer.
So
like, and you see her
she-
kind of getting older and like
she was
dyeing her
known to
hair.
have been dating
Yeah.
Charlie,
Yes.
and then he dies. Turns out she's pregnant,
Yeah.
has this daughter, and nobody's like, yeah, that's probably Charlie's daughter.
Yeah.
You know, and she's obsessed with this play that he died in. Like, that's kind of weird.
That kind of does make some
Which
sense
is
now.
kind of fucking...
Yeah, it adds
it's
to the,
kinda- it just...
the
I don't know.
story, but it makes it make less
It's
sense.
cool. It's cool to tie it all together.
I
yeah,
just
exactly.
wish-
Like, yeah.
I don't know. There's not much you could have done about that, I guess. And like to do this
Yeah.
story and also have everybody know
Honestly,
this detail.
you can end at the like clap, and it's weird, and it would be a good weird ending.
Right.
I think that's where it
Going to
should've
the
cut
house
off.
now where they're like,
Yeah,
they've
that
just
adds-
the
that's-
police department
Yeah.
knows who just killed all these people because they're not
Yeah.
going to blame a ghost. They're going to blame
Yeah.
Pfeiffer and her mom.
Yeah.
So these crimes can't go unanswered. They're for sure going to get arrested. It's not like cops are just going to keep showing up to this house and getting murdered by a ghost. Eventually, they're going to arrest these people.
Yeah, they're gonna find
But-
a human being responsible.
What
Yeah.
did the ghost accomplish?
That's what I'm.
What did that is my problem with the ending of this movie. Why did the ghost do any of this? What was the point?
And
And
he
does the
stopped the
ghost-
gallows from being performed again. He got like
Did he though?
what
did he
considers,
stop? Did he?
I mean, I guess
Because they're just
I would
gonna
assume.
20 years from now, they're just gonna fucking do the play again.
Yeah,
like
it's
And with Charlie
it's not a
at that,
good movie.
I just feel
Yeah.
like he didn't really do anything. I feel like this movie had no point. I reached the end and I'm like, okay, but what did I just see?
Yeah.
A bunch of dumb kids wandering around in the dark and eventually getting murdered.
Yeah.
Like, why did I just spend my time watching this? Like, I don't feel any better coming away from it.
yeah, and Charlie lives at this house too.
no. Oh yeah, he
where
must.
this
He
ghost can
must.
just go wherever he
Yeah,
wants.
sorry,
He can
I
just
peeked
like
really
No,
bad.
yeah, like that's what I was thinking. Like, so Charlie's here, so he
Yeah,
lives with them.
He's
but he's not real.
arbitrary. Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's why
Um,
they're crazy.
yeah.
So, yeah,
or was
geez.
yeah, I don't know, man.
It's just, and it's not that there's a lot of like questions unanswered. It's
Yeah,
just
no.
like why
that don't make sense.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like, I
because
get
there
it,
weren't
but
really
why?
many questions posed in
In the-
this
yeah.
movie. Like they didn't leave
Cool
you
ties,
like
but-
wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tied some shit together, and it
Yeah.
was like it wasn't a terrible ending, but it
Like-
still left me with this feeling of why. Like, what was the
Why?
point?
Like, and you know what?
Why did
host-
this happen?
Like when I was like, yeah, you want to know more. That means it's a good movie. This is the kind of I want to know more where it's like I'm not going to actively look it up because it didn't make that much of an impact on me. Host made an impact where it's like, oh, I want to learn how this was done.
It's
you
like
know?
I don't want to know more.
Yeah.
I wish I was
was
told
more.
more.
Exactly. That's a good difference.
And I mean, there's a Gallows too, which
I'm never gonna watch it. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
almost
sorry.
watched it instead because you can stream it on
Yeah.
on Hulu, and so I almost watched that and came with that and been like, "What are you
I
guys
might
talking
watch
about?"
it's
Josie
yeah.
wanted to watch it really bad last night. She was
Maybe-
like, well, maybe
maybe
they're going
it
to answer
has
the
some-
questions. And
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well, we're not going to talk about this movie tomorrow. So I can't sully my opinion of this
Yeah.
Yeah.
by a movie that's effectively a retcon of a bad movie. But you know what? I doubt they're going to address half the shit we brought up
Nah,
in
probably
this.
not.
It's, for me, this movie felt a lot like a cash grab because Paranormal Activity is a very popular movie.
It was
and well
around
deserved.
the same
It's
time.
a good movie, and it came out roughly around the same time, a few years before. But still,
it's like 2009.
Yeah, so
when the
6
first
years
one.
before.
But like
this.
every 2
They've been
years,
doing,
they release the next
and
one.
the first
Exactly.
like 3 were pretty good.
Yeah, and so this movie is like, well, we can sort of make a play here,
All right,
and try to get some money, and they did. They did their job.
My thing, the reason why I like it a lot is just because, in my opinion, it's a tale. These high school students go find this mystery.
That's why I was saying the writing was good, is because like
that's
you
it.
think about the storytelling aspect, and it's awesome.
Yeah, you look at or even just if you look at it like a storyboard, right?
Yeah, it'd be super cool. It's just the execution was really
Yeah,
if it was
could've done a better
have you
job.
ever seen Tales from the Crypt?
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt is basically just like a bunch of small stories.
Yeah,
and
vignettes.
this would fit in that perfectly.
Yeah, it did
This
not need
would
to be
fit.
85 minute.
If it were
It
that
didn't.
like short style, it would have been cool.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, oh man, I liked that.
It like
didn't
Twilight
have to
Zone,
make sense.
Tales
yeah,
from the Crypt.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
it's-
could do this.
Here's
in
this
45.
tale about
Yeah.
an old murder that happened, and
Because then
they
you
find
don't have
out.
to dive in so deep into
Yeah.
the familial relations and everything. It could just be spooky.
Yeah, like that whole
like-
scene with
I figured it all out.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
football practice scene.
Yeah.
Cut that shit out. Doesn't need
Yeah.
to be there. The
That's
scene in the
some of
fucking
my favorite
room.
part.
It doesn't need to be
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like if you're just trying to tell this story, then just tell
Yeah.
the story. But at the same time, you can't release a 45-minute long short film to theaters across the country and expect people to go and pay $12 to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Maybe that's
the
why
hard-
Host is just the revolution right there.
Host
for
is
that.
perfect because it's right on streaming. It's on a platform that you already pay for,
and it's
like,
not long.
No,
and
it's the perfect
there's-
length.
I will say,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you,
No.
but I went into watching this movie again expecting to hate it just as much as I did before.
Yeah.
But I walked away from it last night not hating it as much.
And
Oh,
then,
hey, that's
It was-
something.
I still don't really
It must
like
be
this
Stockholmy.
movie.
You've seen it 8 times. I've seen it once. He's seen it twice. So like,
I still don't
yeah.
like this movie, but walking away from it, it is an interesting story. It's just executed so poorly
yeah.
yeah, I get that.
and like the dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very like George Lucas has the same fucking problem. He
Yeah.
can't write dialogue. These people
so
can't
bad.
either. There's so many like where it's obvious that it's just an adult trying to write how a teenager talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just really
well, I think a
takes
lot of it
me
was
out of it.
a lot of it was improvised, and all the stuff that wasn't improvised, you could tell.
All of the
could
the
tell.
4 main actors
yeah.
are playing themselves effectively.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
their
I think
names
they're-
in real life are the names in the movie.
It's that same. It's a found
There it
footage thing
is.
because
Found footage
Paranormal
thing.
Activity does that. What is? Wait, no, never mind. One of my favorite horror movies I thought did it, but it doesn't. All right, so here's one of my things. Out of 10 Gallows, what do you give the Gallows as a movie?
I give it 4 Gallows.
4 out of 10 Gallows.
Yep.
For the Gallows. Mario?
I'm gonna give it 6 Gallows.
Really?
Okay.
6 Gallows. It's one of my favorites. It is one of my favorites.
Aw.
Like the tale of it is
Yeah.
is why I like it a lot.
I'm matching Xavier. It's 4 Gallows out of 10.
4 Gallows
Yeah,
out of 10.
it's not going to break that fight because
It
like
had the potential.
yeah, it
it
had
just
those
didn't-
moments.
It just didn't
like
deliver.
because here's the thing. I think that Cassidy's, and this goes on to my next thing. Best kill is Cassidy's 100%.
Yeah.
and I'm proud to say 100% on this one because like that was creepy. It was fun and it
Well
scared me.
executed,
Oh
it
man,
looked
it's so
great.
good, and it was benefited from the format of found footage.
Yeah. No,
It was
yeah.
so perfectly like made for that. For this
You have this
style,
one stationary
Stationary-
camera,
God,
like,
it's
looking
so
down
good.
this
And
creepy
she
hallway.
she adjusts it, and they take the time between adjustments to add things to her as they like move it back, and it's like it's choreographed
Yep.
beautifully.
It looked great.
And that's the best kill and best part of the movie. What do you
I
guys
would-
think
I
is the
would-
best kill?
I would say that's the best kill.
Kill?
My favorite
Yeah.
part of the movie is probably the ladder scene.
Yeah.
It was dumb that they went up the ladder, but I did really like that feeling it gave me of like
Yeah.
really similar to like movies where people have to like go into a dark hole or something.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
they're going
Yeah.
up this ladder and they know there's someone behind them. I really like that. I think they did a good job.
Mario,
I'm gonna have to go with Ryan.
Ryan's
Okay,
the best.
yeah.
I get
Just
it
because the double
Yeah.
perspective thing, and then he dies on the same thing that he was fucking with.
Yeah,
the
right.
the
Yeah.
rope rafter thing. Like
Yep.
like that was just I don't know, and because he was the most hated character for me.
Yeah.
So for
It
him to
feels
die
good
was
for him to die,
yeah.
which is uncool to say.
Nah, it makes sense.
So yeah, wrapping that up, that is the Gallows, runtime of 1 hour and 20 minutes, released in 2015 by Blumhouse.
How
Director-
long was this podcast?
Longer than the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Longer than the movie.
It was almost 2
we're
hours,
almost
I
at 2
think.
hours.
Yeah.
Again, directed by Travis Clough, written by Chris Loafing,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I appreciate everyone
it's
joining.
Skippable.
It's skippable.
Yeah.
It's skippable. Other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and
Mhm.
Yeah,
we'll
thanks
see.
for having me on.
Yeah,
No problem.
Xavier. That is Xavier Powers, everybody, at The Unkept Bush on Twitter. I am at Horror Hearn on Twitter.
I'm at Esperanza the Cat on Twitter.
And we'll see you guys next Saturday with another movie that we're not going to know about.
Yep.
But
We're going to figure it out.
We're going to release October schedule soon. So appreciate everybody listening in. And that was the Ghoul Crew podcast.
Bye-bye.